Well, it is now time that we talk about evaluating powder coating raw materials, pros and cons, and do's and don'ts. For this, I would like to invite on stage Mr. SIVAANNAMALAI from NINGBO, WECAN Chemicals, China. He's a chemical engineering graduate. He also did MBA in international marketing, and he has been associated with the powder coating industry for last 21 years. He has worked with Indian companies and multinational companies in India and abroad. His various technical projects in India and overseas are particularly for automotives, architectural, and general industry segments. You've heard him already once, and it is now time to welcome him one more time. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, and over to Mr. SIVAANNAMALAI.
Thank you. Hope सबको नींद नहीं आएगा. So let me take you through this one. I am Siva. I am a technical manager for NINGBO WECAN Chemical. So we are into manufacturing matte hardeners, curing agents, and additives for powder coating. We are the second biggest producer in China for matte hardeners, additives. Okay. So I'm going to talk about evaluating raw materials for powder coating. शायद आप सोचेगा इस पे क्या बड़ी बात है, मेरे को तो सब कुछ पता है, ठीक है, लेकिन मैंने कुछ पॉइंट्स ऐसा बताऊंगा you might not have heard so far. So I request you to give some attentions. In case if you need these presentations, just write to me. I will share my presentations with you. Okay? So let's start. What do we plan to do? हम क्या करना चाहते हैं? I am going to talk about technical concept of each raw material. Then brand के ऊपर ज़्यादा बात नहीं करूँगा, लेकिन concept के ऊपर ज़्यादा बात करूँगा. Second, क्या key points to consider while choosing raw material for specific formulations, and do's and don'ts while choosing raw materials. So we pick up 5 raw materials, 2 for matte hardeners, 2 curing agents, and 1 leveling additives. Okay, so I'm going to talk about only these products now. मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ एक अच्छा सा सवाल सवाल की वजह से बहुत सारी टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो सकते हैं. One good question will resolve many of your problems. The power of good question is it will open your eyes. Okay, so this is what I always says. हमारे इंडस्ट्री में क्या प्रॉब्लम है ना, मेरे को 22 years experience है, but most of the time when I interact with my customers, basically they are powder coating technical people or powder coating manufacturers or maybe raw material supplier. Some standard replies, some typical answers आता है. वो answers क्या है? मेरे को सब कुछ पता है. मैं 30 साल से धंधा चला रहा हूँ. मैं हार्ड कैसल टाइम से हूँ. मैं आइंस्टीन से कुछ कमी नहीं हूँ. ऐसा ही जवाब है. लेकिन रियलिटी क्या है ना, ये टेक्नोलॉजी 80s, 90s, 2000 में ऐसा हमारा इंडियन ओल्ड बस टाइप का है. लेकिन आज का जो टेक्नोलॉजी है ना, मल्टी एक्सल बेंच जैसा है. सो वी नीड टू अपडेट आवर सेल्फ इफ यू वांट टू सस्टेन, इफ यू वांट टू ग्रो in an efficient manner. So we need to have latest updates about these technologies. That's most important. Then the second problem है, कोई भी business owners, कोई भी company का owners, अगर raw material supplier को और कोई technical आदमी को एक सवाल पूछेगा, लेकिन उनके जवाब सीधा नहीं रहता है. सवाल ऐसा होता है, भाई तुम मेरे पार्टी में शामिल होगा क्या? नहीं. लेकिन टेक्निकल बंदा हाँ भी बोलेगा नहीं, ना भी बोलेगा नहीं. टेक्निकल बंदे का जवाब ऐसा होता है. किसी को समझ में आता है? With recompense, obeisance to your proponent, I will sedately ruminate on its efficacy and reciprocate proportionally. ये क्या बोल रहा है किसी को समझ में नहीं आएगा. ये हाँ बोल रहे ना बोल रहे, पार्टी में ज्वाइन करेगा ना करेगा हमको मालूम नहीं, लेकिन हमारा मालिक का ऐसा जवाब चाहिए तो हाँ बोल, नहीं तो ना बोल. So my aim is to simplify the technology, to simplify the concept, irrespective of whether I get business or not. Okay, most of you know me well, so our main motto is to simplify the technologies. Okay. So let's talk about one by one. So the first raw material is hydroxyl alkylamide, curing agents. So it is one of the potential alternate for TGIC and good for exterior applications. So everyone knows about it. Okay, some people call primide hardener. But what we don't know, primide is basically a reaction between 2 chemicals, diethanolamine and dimethyl adipamide. So this everyone knows that. Primide is basically a reaction product of these 2 chemicals. सबको पता है. लेकिन क्या नहीं पता है? The primide could be manufactured in 2 methods. One is wet method, another one is dry method. This very few people know this one. Okay. So wet method क्या? Dry method क्या? Wet method में अगर आप primide बनाया क्या फायदा है? If you make it in through dry method, what is the advantage? This was I am going to talk about. So in wet method, these two chemicals, dimethylamide, adipamide, diethanolamine, and some catalyst mixed, then what happened? They are adding some solvents and they convert this into solid form. The disadvantage is it has a lot of methyl alcohol. Methanol is produced in this process. If this is not completely dried or evaporated, then you will have lumping issues, you will have yellowing resistance issues. But in dry method, same dimethyl adipamide, diethanolamine, put it into the reactor, but there is no catalyst, there is no solvent. But it is directly liquid, it is transformed to powder form by way of passing it through a conveyor. Okay, this is called dry method. In wet method, the residue of methyl alcohol is very high, whereas in dry method, it is absolutely dry, no methanol. So if methanol present in your premix, you will have more technical problems. Second, if the HAA produced through wet method, then you have more yellowing tendency and you have lumping problems, whereas in dry method, this problem is overcome. Then third one, if the wet method have residue of methyl alcohol, then if your customer cure the powder, then they will get lot of smoke because methanol is coming out and it will react with your some gaseous product in the oven. Okay, so then naturally you will get lot of smoke, whereas in dry method you will not get so. So the purity level of wet method is lower than dry method. Second, after removing methanol here, see once methanol, then the liquid they convert into powder form. So what they do, they add another solvent that's called acetone and they convert this into semi-bead form, semi-slurry form. Then they transform to a trace. They allow it to cool at room temperature or dry. Then they mill it. I will show the photos of manufacturing in the subsequent slide. So in this process, what happened? Your methanol, if it is not completely dried, you will get into poor solvent resistance, many other issues. Whereas in dry, there is no solvent. This is how wet method is produced. For example, the slurry is collected in the tray, then basically it is milled. This is wet method. This is also wet method, but advanced wet method. So what they do, they convert the material into another couple of chambers and they dry it completely. Okay. In wet method, they use potassium hydroxide that will interact with your powder coating layer. It will affect your durability and also corrosion resistance. Whereas in dry method, there is no catalyst. Economically, wet method is very cheaper, whereas dry method is costlier, 20 to 25%. Wet method, both सारी supplies available है, dry method के लिए supplies बहुत कम है. So this is, first one is there are two methods, wet and dry. The second one is there are two qualities of pyramid hardeners available. One is ethyl adipamide, another one is propyl adipamide. Okay, so the second one looks better, okay, because it can have good overbake resistance and micropenoling resistance. So we evaluated some many grades. So the first one is our grades. You can check the purity point. The purity is higher. Second, you check the volatile. This is talk about methanol content. It is lower. Then you can talk about yellowing tendency. The yellowness is very low in our product. Okay, if you ask me what is the regular problems we face with premix formulations, one is you should use customized polyester to get high gloss. Second, if you want the best result, you should choose premix that is produced through dry method. Third one, if you want to avoid micropenoling, you must use this material, either micronized wax or some special additives that can give you microphenol free, or you can use a special filler called aluminum hydroxide. If you want to avoid yellowing, you must use combo antioxidants. It can give you better resistance against gas oven performance. And one more problem, whenever premix formulation is used, when you move the trolley, the powder started falling down. Okay, this is purely because of moisture entrapment. Okay, if you want to avoid that, then you should either control the moisture or you can use special customized dry flow additive, aluoxide C or aluoxide. So this is about weathering. So hope I give some information about premix. Let's look at the second one. I think most of you know about TGAC. This is one of the potential curing agents. But ये भी हमको पता है, लेकिन हमको क्या नहीं पता है, वो मैं बताऊंगा. TGAC is manufactured in 8 stages. There are 8 stages. The key chemicals are cyanuric acids and epichlorohydrin and they react, they add a catalyst, they filter it, they wash it, they remove the epichlorohydrin, finally they filter it. This is the process. This everybody knows. But what we may not know, there are two qualities of TGACs available. How many people are heard about it? There are two qualities of TGACs available in the market. The number one is called regular grade, which we use in powder coating. This is called regular grade TGAC, which we use in powder coating. The second one is called electronic grade TGAC. Electronic grade TGAC, we might not have heard about it, but it still exists. What is the difference? First is used in powder coating, second one is used in electronic ink or sealant applications. First one is good purity level, whereas electronic is even better than regular grade. Because the difference is, standard TGAC, what we use, the price level is whatever, then your electronic grade TGAC would be costlier by $2 to $3 per kilo. Third one, in a standard TGAC, the free chlorine content, minimum 4,000 RPM to 5,000 RPM, whereas in electronic grade, it is only 1,000 RPM. So, sorry, not RPM, PPM. Okay, it means lower the level of chlorine, higher the weathering resistance, less toxic odor. This is more important. Second, in the regular grade, the methyl alcohol is high. It may influence on your weathering, whereas chlorine content is low, methanol content is low in electronic grade. Okay, so this is the difference between two grades of TGAC. For example, I just picked up two suppliers. This is their analysis. You just see there is a difference in the chlorine content. So you should choose a resin that should have a low chlorine content. So there are three problems happens whenever you choose TGAC for your formulation. Number one, toxic odor. What is the solution? You should use TGAC that should have very less quantity of methanol. Second one is low chlorine content and purity so that you can have good weathering resistance. More than that, the final stage, even TGAC, when they try to convert into granular form, there are two methods. One is called wet method prilling process, another one is called dry method prilling process. If you use dry method prilling process, your methanol content is very low and your weathering, purity, low smoke, all the problems could be solved. So third one is a matte harness I'm going to talk about. We all know about this B68 matte harness. We are काफी हम use करता है. It was first patented by Hals, Degussa, 10 years. Then many Chinese versions have come up. But here also there are two qualities of B68 matte harness available in the market. Number one is PMA based, pyromellitic anhydride. Second one is PMDA, pyromellitic dianhydride. Okay, so क्या फर्क है? PMA based one is costlier, it is have a very good flow and longer gel time. So the gel time is very high and flow is very good, whereas the gel time of PMDA based product is very low, okay, and shorter gel time, and the flow level also less. Gloss stability is good, gloss control part, PMA, PMDA based, both are same. The better yellowing resistance, overbake resistance with PMA based product, whereas in PMDA based product, it is slightly low. The price of PMA is higher, the price of PMDA is low. A good matte hardener should have at least 70% of PMA. But what happened? They mix up PMA with filler, with hydrogenated castor oil. They try to make it more competitive. But if the good formulation should have 70%. Second, the durian is the key raw material to produce this PMA. But its price went from 290 rupees to 1,050 rupees in the last 3 years, 2016 to 2018. 29 RMB mean 290 rupees approximately, and 105 RMB mean 1,050 rupees. So what happened? People either have to increase the price or they need to compromise the quality. So third one, B68 type is basically a mixture of 3 ingredients. One is PMA or PMDA, another one is cyclic amide. Okay, so you ask any supplier how to calculate the PHR. Some people say, मेरा 10 PHR 10% में काम हो जाएगा. कुछ लोग बोलते हैं 8 में काम हो जाएगा, 7 में. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. If you go by the calculation method is same irrespective of the supplier. Because ऐसे 70% polyester must react with 30% epoxy. That's called 70-30. Correct? The same way, the PHR calculation should be same irrespective of the supplier unless they do some adulterations. Second, the B68 reacts only with epoxy. It's not going to react with your polyester. लेकिन हमारा perception था वो polyester के साथ भी react हो रहा है. ऐसा नहीं है. This is PMA-based product formulation. This is PMDA. The formulation is same, but what you need to see, I use the same percentage of hardener, but check the gloss level is 3.5, gloss level is 3.6. But the same formulation, the gloss level same, but you see the gel time of 75 seconds and gel time of 36 seconds. Okay, your gel time in PMDA-based product is always coming down, and that's not good if you want to develop a more stable product. Okay. Second is a non-yellow matte hardener. This is one of the another popular matte hardeners. So this hardener advantage is during the epoxy price were going up, so everybody started moving to this. They want low epoxy formulation, low epoxy matte formulations. So for that, this hardener is one of the ideal choice. But we need to know about the technical concept, how this matte hardener reacts. Because it is having a high impact resistance, it can give a very good flow, it can give a very good low temperature curing, all possible. But the point is, this matte hardener, two types. One is reactive type, another one is non-reactive type. You should go with the reactive type, because reactive type means the matte hardener is basically combination of 4 or 5 chemicals. These chemicals started reacting themselves. Then some of the ingredients started reacting with epoxy as well. That's why your matting happens. For example, in any matting, there should be 2 reactions. One should be at slow speed, another must be at high speed. Then only you can get matting. So one is happening at very slow speed, another one is high speed. This is called reactive matting agents. This is non-reactive. It means this matte hardener does not react with epoxy or polyester. It reacts among themselves. Okay. So people ask some questions. Why I don't get consistent gloss level? Why I don't get storage stability, lumping issues? Why the finish is getting changed? Everything. Okay. So how to solve this problem? In this hardener, the disadvantage is you must use low viscosity 50-50 polyester. All 50-50 polyester won't suit for this formulation. You must choose a polyester that should have a low melt viscosity. Then only you can get very good matting. Second, I recommend to choose this type of hardener, that is reactive type, not this type of hardener, because as long as it reacts with epoxy, your formulation is more stable. Then do not try this type of matte hardener for low-cost formulation. If you use 40%, 45%, 30% for resin in your formulation, please don't try this one. Final one, everybody knows about flow agent, leveling additive, सब कुछ पता है, but फिर भी मैं कुछ बताना चाहता हूँ. The usage of flow agent is, it removes craters, it avoids pinholes, it gives you very good DOI, it gives you good flow, substrate wetting, everything. But liquid paint से powder coating का क्या फर्क है? Liquid, we should never compare liquid paint's flow characteristics with powder coating. Okay, liquid paint flow system rely on solvent, whereas in powder coating, 100% depends on your viscosity of your whole formulation systems. Okay. So for example, if powder is deposited, it starts melting and flow and cure like this. Okay, so this is a basic. There are 5 types of flow agents available for powder coating. But for customer, it is only 1. But technically, there are 5 types of leveling agents are available for powder coating. Number 1, 100% liquid. We cannot use it in powder. Okay, liquid flow agent, we cannot use it in powder. Type 2 is a master batch. So they take the liquid flow agent, they master batch in polyester. But if you check the TDS, they master batch it in OH group polyester. I mean hydroxyl group polyester. Why? Because it can give you good functional group. It is ideal for automotive formulation, particularly alloy wheel primer and all. The type 3 is what mostly we are all using. It's called single acrylic monomer leveling agent. This is called second generation leveling agents. So, iska matlab kya hai? They use one acrylic monomer, preferably butyl acrylate or 2-ethyl XL acrylate. The commercial grades are many suppliers are supplying this kind of leveling agents. So this we know, but what we need to look into this? You please check the active content. The activity for powder, it should be at least 66% minimum. If you go by type 3, the active content must be 66 minimum. It cannot be more than 72. Then the flow agent will be in the liquid form or slurry form. 66 is minimum. Second, high quality silica should be used. For example, silica available at 80 rupees, 100 rupees, 150 rupees. You can also available at 25 rupees. If you use low quality silica, you will get haze effect. Okay, you just check whether high quality silica is used. Third one, some people say, I am getting a haziness, so I want to remove this, I want to add some monomers. So if these monomers will help you to get better clarity. Okay. What is the disadvantage of this kind of flow agent? Compatibility. If you use one supplier, you change to another supplier, definitely you have some issues. How to check the quality of flow agent? You can check activity, everything is fine, but please take down these 4 properties or 5 properties you must check. First, you check the pill flow. The pill flow means longer the length of the flow, then it is better the quality. Second, check 20-degree gloss. Don't check 60-degree gloss. 20-degree gloss will give you insight about clarity of the coating. Then check the TG, whether this flow agent is reducing your lumping characteristics or not. Then check the wave scan to check the high R value. So if your smoothness is very good, you get a very good clarity. Then compatibility. Then gel time. These are all the key factors to understand about leveling agent. So type 4 leveling agents, some people might be using. What is the difference? It is having 2 monomers. Type 3 is having only 1 monomer, but type 4 is 2 monomers. What is this 2 monomers? This is called 3rd generation flow agents. Commercial grades are available here. Here, 2 monomers are used, and these 2 monomers having a OH functional group. The advantage is, if you have more OH functional group, you will have better compatibility, easy cleaning process, but costlier than your regular flow agent. Type 5 is 100% activity. It means there is no mix of silica, there is no mix of extender, there is no mix of any kind of extenders. Okay, this is good for mirror like a clear finish. If you want to get a clear finish, okay, that should be like looking like a mirror. You should go with this kind of leveling agent. But what is the disadvantage? It is having highly contamination nature. So after this flow agent, if you try to process some other product, it may give you pinols. Okay, that is the biggest problem of this flow agents. So this is a study. Surface tension means the flow agent should basically work like this. Low surface tension to high surface tension, or the coating should move. So second generation, which is type 3, whatever I mentioned about all we use, it can have wetting property only this range. Whereas if you go the type 3 with the 2 monomer, it is having a better wetting. Naturally, the price is also little higher. Thank you.